People are often talking about, we hear people with a lot of sort of zealousness for changing the world and making it a better place. But it has such little power. It only has a thing to excite people for a few minutes, and after they forget it. You know? It's based upon some kind of excitement and rhetoric. The politicians, they know this very well. And they're well-meaning people, and they're people who, they really, they want to feel something. But they're very often out of touch with reality, in fact, as well too. And what I'm sharing is radically different from this. Of course, charity, support, love, and the desire to do good is also one of consciousness's experience and challenge, that while it individuates itself into the sense of a person, it also must learn to cultivate love and respect, and genuine. But the distortion is sometimes there are people who want to help others because it makes them feel better, which is also fine. But sometimes it is like they need to have people to help in order to feel like they've done something. So it starts to move into ego again. To get that balance is very difficult, and people feel passionately about something for 1 minute, for one time, and then after they move on to something else. The continuity is not there. The reliability is not there. They move on. It's just they're caught into that stream of excitement and the campaigning for righteousness. So it's not deep. It's not genuine. It's sort of pursuing the fulfillment of some ideology, which is only temporary. It's very different. It's very short-lived. But you can catch it also in their presence when they speak. You can feel it's actually without heart. They're trying to sound like heart, and trying to sound like listen, we have to change things. It's come out of fear as well too. Because if we don't change, there will be nothing for our children. There will be nothing for. It's kind of like it's a kind of a fear that is also part of the way that the consciousness will also experience when it's off the mark. It's not on the line of understanding. It's a little off. So these.
And if that's your greatness, you meet everyone where they are. You don't expect them to.
Yeah, that's another thing. Any expectation of that. Because then your own heart is a total rest, because I'm not there to recruit or to just you're there, and wherever you are, the Spirit of God is there. You just allow it to do its thing. To push would be to go back into your human thing, and it just feels wrong. And this is one thing that I want that we all come to gauge, that if there's a you and you go into your energy, it's wrong. Something just feels it's flat, it's got no energy. Then you just leave it immediately. Don't speak 3 sentences of untruth. You probably say, "Oh, so what's happening with your thing in this?" And then already something's going, just pulling back and say, "No, don't go." I said, "No, anyway, forget about that. It's okay." And just leave it, rather than going down the road. You're pushing people to say things, and you're out of touch. And I see that sometimes we say things, not we, but as people, say things which are totally inappropriate. Because very often we don't allow people to fall into, because they may be a bit higher energetically, and the Spirit of Truth just helps to bring their blood pressure down, their psychic blood pressure, okay? They bring it down. And then when it's down here, then there's a communication that happens, can be wordless. We could even be talking about a fruit salad and things like that, but we're right in. It's like the person feels completely disarmed, they're disarmed. And that's what they need to experience. It's just to be, wow, man, thank you, like you're on the level again. If you try and do it with words, we are too much in words, and you have to know when the words are appropriate, and they come from that place. They must have come from this place, and that for me is a huge difference between human beings talking, interacting at human level, and yeah, so what's happening? Yeah, I went to so and so and so. Nothing actually of spirit is going on. When you are in full trust with God, and it is here all the time. God doesn't come from somewhere else. God wasn't, in Haridwar and hurried up to be in Rishikesh. God is here. If you allow yourself to move out of the way, you will see Him. You feel Him. And if you have a hunger for that, you feel it, And you can be in the most difficult environment, like really hard. Just give it a little bit, and you're not waiting. Like, God, come on, hurry up. You're just there. You're one. It's like this oneness is so important. And just leave you out of it. Leave your mind, like this. Because the minute you allow your person, your skill to come, He leaves you to get on with that. Yes. He just leaves you because what we know, and then we're back into show business again. Just be there. If you're there, and it's full love, because what you do in the moment is not what you think. When you forget about your techniques, then what happens in the moment is He happens in the moment, the Supreme Lord. What you think is going to happen is you are trying to put something there. It doesn't come across the same way. It's fine because it's what we're used to. Chit-chat. We used to chit-chat. You're so and so. Oh, it's nice. We're used to being nice. God is not being nice or not nice. It's just full love. Full love in its own expression. And
that's what you're trying to push us in Satsang, because that's what you're trying to get the people to ask questions, not to something they kind of plan to ask you, but to...
And to tell them also, don't get too comfortable at talking about yourself, because that self is not real, and you're keeping this history of a person that's not real going. And what about this moment? Can you come from this moment? Because very often we talk coming from past. And I said, that's tired, that's old. What about this moment? Have you visited this moment? Have you really taken a look at it? Because maybe you've never looked at this moment. And this moment has got nothing to do with time. Have you ever just entered this moment? Because you always reverse or forward. You're always like in gear, And just when I ask people, leave everything, drop everything, it's just to arrive here, Drop everything only just to arrive here, just to be here.
Leave each day behind like flowing water. Free of sadness, yesterday is gone, its tale is told. Today new seeds are growing.